third race on the card is definitely the highlight of the Wednesday. This is the Champion Chase over 2 mile Grade 1 race. The favourite is Altior currently for Nicky Henderson at 8 to 11. If you can get 8 to 11, I'd be taking that very quickly. I certainly have. I backed it before the win against Politolog. So I managed to get some good value. There is still a bit in there for me, but like I mentioned there, all eyes were on Altior last time out after the wind up at Newbury, and although it was only 3 runners in the race, the form does look strong, and the fact that he just cruised past Politolog really to win by 4 lengths. He could have won by a lot more if he really wanted to. So unlike the whole saga when we were having Duvan as well, as we'll mention later on, Altior came back and proved that he could still do the business quite easily. He won here last year. It would have been good to see what would have happened in this race if Charbel hadn't fell 2 out for David Bass last year. It would have been a lot more interesting coming up the hill, but he effectively bounded up the hill and made this look very quickly. It's hard to see this horse getting beaten in this race. Like I say, 8 to 11 is some of the best odds that you're going to find around for Altior really. The last time the odds were bigger than this was actually at the festival in 2016 when he beat Min, who again reopposes today, by 7 lengths. So you can see that it's been 2 years since Altior was bigger in the market than this. The next horse, like I mentioned there, just to cover off, is Min for Willie Mullins at 11 to 4, a 7-year-old, so a year younger than Altior. He's been off from Boxing Day 2016 until November 17, where he won at 1 to 9 at Gowan Park by 36 lengths. You can't really look into that form. It was a bit of an open schooling session, to be perfectly frank about the form. But again, you can only beat what's in front of you. They needed to get a run back into Min to see if the potential was still there. I'm not quite sure if exactly what they saw in from here, but as we can see from the next races on that we'll discuss, that Min does retain some of the form and some of the class that the horse has always had. He beat Simply Ned last time before being disqualified. He was a 2 to 7 on. He did race very keenly throughout, and I think that's probably what cost him this race. If he'd settled, I don't think there would have been any interference at all throughout the race, and it would have been a more comfortable winner. He then came out again against Simply Ned, and this time beaten by 12 lengths in a Grade 2 race. The Coral Dublin Chase that featured Special Tiara as well, who won this race last year at the festival. So you can see that there was a fair bit of form to that race if you're looking into this specific race at the festival as well. So it is pretty good there. It does have some to find with Altior, and it's probably the best of the Mullins horses in this race. The question there is Ruby Walsh going to ride Min, or is he going to go for Duvan? I'm sure we'll all find out in due course. I would be surprised if he didn't ride Duvan, but at the same time, if I was him, I'd be riding Min, I think. Bringing me on nicely to Duvan is currently 9 to 2 in the market again for Willie Mullins, an 8-year-old again. He's not been seen since last year's race here, where he finished 7th with the injury that we all know that happened afterwards. Are we going to see him here? Are we going to see him in this race? Mullins has said yes, he said no, he said yes, he said no. It's typical Willie Mullins for me. It's no disrespect to Mr. Mullins at all. I just think, are we going to see him? I don't think we will, to be honest. I'll probably be proven wrong and he'll probably run an absolute stormer, but I'd be surprised if he did going in here. Like I say, it is a bit of a soap opera happening from Willie Mullins so far with this horse. Next one in there is Politolog at 8 to 1 for Paul Nicholls. This horse even this year has improved the most throughout. If anyone had said about this horse, without the likes of Altior in here, he probably would have been a lot higher up in the market than 8 to 1. I think 8 to 1 does seem quite big, considering he's won a Grade 2 at Exeter and a Grade 1 at Sandown, beating Fox Norton, the Grade 2 over the Christmas Festival at Kempton, the Desert Orchid Chase, before bumping into Altior last time out. Yes, Altior made it look very straightforward, but it's still in there, it's still got some good form lines. So 8 to 1, it does seem quite a big price really. So there might be some each way value into there. The outsider for me is a personal horse for me really. This is great field for Willie Mullins at 14 to 1. A bit like Black Corton and Bryony Frost, this horse has got a really good partnership going on with Jody McGarvey. I actually tweeted about this horse previously when he won a novice chase at Leopardstown, when he almost got rid of Jody McGarvey coming up to the last. The reason I say it's a personal story is that this ride was also voted in the list of the Ride of the Month at the races, and it was my tweet that actually appeared with when they were showing the highlight of this race. So, I mean, I'll always have that little bit in the back of my mind for Great Field. And 14 to 1, I might just have a cheeky £5 each way sort of situation on there just for that. But he's an unbeaten chaser, and like I say, he doesn't mind sitting behind. He doesn't mind leading. He's always been quite comfortable, and it does appear to have quite a high cruising speed for me. In this race, the Altior wins it for me. There's no doubt about that. In my opinion anyway. Min looks to be second. I'm unsure whether Duvan will run. I might even be looking to do a small tricast on this race with Altior, Min and Great Field to be the first three home.